Hello and welcome back to the channel. Is your inbox or Slack notifications constantly flooded with requests for additional fields, reports, or perhaps complicated automation requests? Today I'm going to show you how to set up an enhancement request object in Salesforce that will enable your users to create requests that are completed and tracked directly in Salesforce. First, we are going to start from the setup page and we're going to navigate to the object manager, create, and then custom object. I'm going to name this custom object enhancement request, and the plural version will be enhancement requests. For data type on the name, I'm going to change from text to auto number, and I'm going to name this an ER record. I'm going to put a dash, and then this 000, and then close bracket. And my starting number will be 000. I'm going to make sure I have 4 zeros in each column. I'm going to allow reports on this, as well as activities and track field history. If I want to use chatters here, groups I can, but I'm going to choose not to. I'm going to leave this in the deployed state, allow search, and then I'm going to add notes and attachments, as well as a custom tab, here. If I click save, it's going to navigate me to the new tab creation, where I will select a new style here. I'm going to select a credit card and then click next. Apply to all of the profiles that I want to. Here I'm just going to leave default on, click next, as well as the apps that I need associated to. Here I'm just going to leave on and click save. Once I have the new object, I'm going to navigate to Fields and Relationships and create my first field. And I'm going to create a status. So my first field will be a status, which is a pick list type. Click Next, and then add request status, as well as all of my potential options, which are going to be listed here. Format this correctly. Requested, working, testing, delivered, denied, and backlogged. And I'm going to use my first value as the default value. So when a new user creates a record, the value will be requested. Click Next. I'm going to allow all profiles to have access to this, and I'm not going to allow it as read-only. Allow them to edit it. Click Next, and then automatically add that to the layout. I'm going to continue here, adding all the additional fields. So now that I have all the additional fields that I needed created, I'm going to go edit the page layout. So navigate to the page layout, click on the page layout itself that was created when the object was created, and you can see that all of these fields are added to the page layout in a little bit of a mess. So let's kind of enhance this. I'm going to click the gear here, make this a detail page, click OK. Add a new section here, name this requested information, click OK, and then add another section here, call this project details, click OK. So in the information, I'm going to leave the enhancement name and the owner and the request status here. The requested information, I'm going to put this description, the request type, the needed by date, and the requested by person here. And then the project details, I'm going to put this completed date and the assigned to, and then click save. The next step is to create a global action, which will give the users something to click within Salesforce to create this record. So we'll navigate away from Object Manager to Home and select Global Actions. Click New Action. Our action type will be Create a Record, and our target object is going to be Enhancement Request. The standard label type, I'm going to just choose Create New. If I wanted to type one out, I could. Then the name is for the system only. I'm going to say Create Enhancement, and then click Save. Next, we'll configure the layout that the user sees, which fields that they will need to complete in order to create the request. So I'm going to add description, a need by date. Requested by will default, as well as requested status. So request type is the only other field we'll need. To make this a little easier to read, we'll just do this and put the description to the right, and then click Save. We can predefine our values here. So new, we're going to say request status, and our specific value will be requested, and then click Save. Now that we have our global action created, we then need to add it to the layout. So we'll go to Publisher Layouts here, and then edit the layout we have existing. And then all we have to do is simply add this new Create Enhancement request here, as well as then for the classic, and then for mobile or Lightning, we're going to override the predefined actions, navigate to the mobile and Lightning actions, and then add our new enhancement request here, and click Save. Now that the global action has been created in Salesforce, users can go to the top right on the home page or any record within Salesforce to find the global action of Create New Enhancement Requests. Simply click this, and they're presented with that easy to fill out form you created. They select the record, the request type, a brief description, as well as a needed by date, and then simply click Save. And the record has been created. Now that the record has been created, we're going to talk about how to create some email alerts for you as the admin, as well as the requested user when the request has been completed, as well as some automation on how to automatically populate the completed date. The next step is to create a letterhead, but first we need to make sure that we have a document in place to put as our logo within the letterhead. So I'm going to navigate from Classic to the plus, and then go to the Documents object, and make sure that I have a logo here, which I do. So now I'm going to navigate to Setup and type in Letterhead, and then Classic Letterhead. Click Next, and then New Letterhead. I'm just going to name this Letterhead Logo, and make sure that it is available for use, and click Save. I'm going to select my logo, which was that logo 2, and then just hit Save. Now that we have our letterhead created, we can go ahead and start on our email template. So I'm going to type in email and type in template, and click on Classic Email Template. I'm going to click New Template, and I'm going to select HTML using Classic Letterhead, and then Next. Make sure this is available for use, and name my email template. I'm going to say Enhance Request Created, and then I'm going to use my letterhead logo, and then I'm going to use a free-form email. I can add a description here, as well as a subject that we will see when the email comes in. So Enhancement Request Created, and then click Next. From here I can add merge fields into my subject, so I'm going to go find that. I'm going to select the enhancement request object, and then I'm going to say record name, and then place this here. I can add additional information here, say hello, a new enhancement request. Spell check is your friend. Been created. Let's copy this again and say name here. And I can also add a link. So we can go ahead and create that link here. I'm going to go to the enhancement request object. I'm going to find an existing record and then copy this URL. But first I'm going to go here and find the record ID. Copy and paste that here. Replace the existing ID with our merge field. And then grab the URL. Go back to our template. Highlight this. Select our link. And then paste it here. So then it'll be populated as a new URL. I can add additional information here. So let's just name it here. Go ahead and bold this. And then add a list here. So what kind of fields would we want? Maybe it requested by. Requested by. I'm going to remove the bold from this section. I'm going to add the requested type. And so on. And once we have this completed, we'll just hit next and then copy the text from HTML, click OK, and then click Save. And our email template has been created. So I'm looking at my template a bit more and I'm seeing that this white section came up here and I'm not really liking the blue. So I can simply change that because I have it associated to the letterhead. I'm going to go to my documents, click New. I'm going to add a logo 3 here, make it externally available. Choose a file, this one right here, click Open, and then Save. So I can see a preview of my new image. It has no color and it looks a lot cleaner for this example. So I'm going to navigate to my letterheads. Refresh the page, click Edit Letterhead. I'm going to go ahead and remove the logo and then select another one. This logo 3. That looks much nicer. Click Save here. And then go ahead and refresh this. There, looks much nicer. The next step here is going to be to create an email alert. Now that we have a template that has been checked available for use. So for the search bar, I'm going to type in workflow rules, and I'm going to select email alerts. Click continue, and then new alert. Name this new request. Select my object, which is going to be an enhancement request, of course. And then here I would select the email template that we just created, which is an enhancement request created. And then who do I want to send this to? So from the object itself, I can select related users, and I can select the assigned to, requested by, etc. Or last modified, but I'm just going to select a user or a group. In this instance, I just have one user to select, so I'm just going to select it and click Save. Now that the alert has been created, I can start on my flow. So type in here, go to Flows, click New Flow, and we'll let it load for a second, and we're going to use a record trigger flow. Create, And this is only going to run on a record is created. We're going to type in enhancement request again under our object. Here we don't have any conditions. And for here, we're going to need an action and related record because we're sending an email. Click done. Our first step is just to add an element. And we're going to say send email alert. We're going to select our new request, which is the email alert we just created. So title it as well. And then select our record ID. So we're going to go to record and then just select ID and click done. Pretty simple. I'm just going to hit save, name the flow. I like to name them with my object first, which is an enhancement request, and then a break, and then new record created. And then click save. Here I can also populate my requested by. So I'm going to click an add element here, and I'm going to update the triggering record. So update requested by. And then select my field, which is requested by, and my value is going to be in the record. I'm going to default it to the created by user. The reason I'm doing two different ones is because sometimes requested by changes, people do it on behalf of other people. So you want to be able to correctly associate who requested it. People also leave the company, and so we can update this as things change, rather than the created by, keeping it created by, which defaults, and you cannot change it. So we'll click done, save again, and then activate. So now that we have our first flow created, we'll go ahead and test this by creating a record. I'm going to go here, create new enhancement request. This is a field, test, need a by date, and click save. ER5 was created, and I just got an email with the information here. So I can see the request type was field, but my requested by is blank. So let's take a look at our flow and see what's going on here. It's because we're sending our new email alert before we're populating this field. So we can change this pretty quick. We're going to say copy element and then paste it here. And then we'll go ahead and delete this one. And then update our name just to make things a little cleaner. Populate the API and say done, save, and then activate. I'm going to go ahead and create a new record. And then click save. The new record was created, and I can see that the requested by is now populated. So it seems to be working just as expected. So our next step is create a flow for when the request has been completed. So in order to do that, we need a new email template specific for that, which I've created here, as well as the email alert. Here I used related user. This is directly on the object itself, so it'll send the email to the requested by, as well as the assigned to, once it's complete. So in order to do that, we're going to navigate back to flows, click new, and then a record triggered flow here, and click create. This is also, object will be the enhancement request, and this one will be specifically when a record is created. And we have conditions here, so we're going to say and I'm going to say the request status equals delivered, and then I'm also going to say requested status is changed. It's changed equals true. This one we're going to use a fast field update because we're not going to send any emails or update related records, so this will be a lot faster for the system. Click done. I take that back, we are sending an email, so I'm going to have to use the actions in related records. First, I'm going to update the triggering record for the completed date. to select our field, completed date, and our value. I'm going to add a new resource because I'm going to use a formula of today. So resource type will be formula. The API name will be today. Data is a date. And the formula is pretty simple. It's just today, open, close brackets. Check our syntax. Looks good. Click done. And this action is done as well. So we're going to add our email alert. Send email alert. You can say new request completed. Fill out our label again. And select that ID. And click done. Save. We'll name it request completed. Let's edit this a little bit. Click save. Click activate. And then we'll go to this ER6 and move this to delivered. Click save. In my inbox, I just got a new email saying, hello, enhancement request 6 has been completed. The name, the test, and this one did not have an assignment. When I go back to the record, I can also take note that the completed date is populated to 2/17/23. Next, we can talk about creating reports based off this information, and we can track how many requests are coming in, how many are completed, backlogged, etc. So we'll go to the Reports tab, click New Report, and then we're going to select our enhancement request object, and then Start Report. So you can see I have quite a few in the system. I'm going to group this by requested status and also by assigned to, and then run this report. So you can kind of see this in a quick pivot table. If I wanted to add a report, just click that report button and then edit this here. I'm going to select a stacked column, and I can see this information here. I don't have anything assigned to anyone, so they're all null, which is showing up here. So we can go ahead and assign one if we want, and we can see what that looks like. Open new tab, assign to, select our user, click save, and then go back to the report and hit refresh, and you can see that breakout. So this is really useful for managers to look at this, as well as admins, of what's in queue, what's been delivered. You can also group this by time because we have the completed date, so you can look at current fiscal year, quarter, etc., and track all this. Another useful field to sort this by is what type of request you're getting. So let's add a request type here. Click refresh and then run. You can kind of see this. We have kind of a backlog here, some field requests, and a lot of reports and dashboards. Great metrics to have. If you enjoyed the video, please click like and consider subscribing for more useful information. Thank you.